What up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Welcome to the Pick 6 podcast. I'm your host, Musa. I got my boy Mike and Ty here with me. How's everyone doing today?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Doing good. Waiting for some football week 2.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We had some good games. Well, it was good to watch some football last week, but we had some questionable games. You know, we had some people hit 5 field goals in the game, no touchdowns. But we're going to jump right into it, man. First thing we're going to talk about is week 1 recaps. Is there any particular games people want to talk about or touch base on that we didn't speak about? We already got Payson in the chat. Take that hat up. Payson, you got some explaining to do. We gonna get to you.
Yeah, I was going to say that I don't know who was on Pro Football Focus was ranking that Falcons offensive line top 5 in the NFL. That sure wasn't the case this past week, to say the least.
You know, I agree. Did anyone get to watch that Falcons-Steelers game?
No, I did not.
I did see some glimpses of it. The officiating was like all over the place. I remember there was a 4th and 1 play that Pittsburgh got converted, and then they showed that it was still 4th and 1. It was like a week 1, like it was just typical week 1 stuff that we don't really see in the NFL, but I think with all the new rules and adjustments, it's something that all parties is trying to get adjusted to.
Sure. A lot of touchbacks though with the kickoff. I do got to say that because I know a lot of sports books were actually putting plus money for first kickoff for the game to be a touchback last week, and they've already had to adjust it to about minus 200. And as the year goes on, I think it'll go up. Probably they'll juice it to 5. And I think the kickoff rule is just stupid if this is what it's going to be, because you put it in to implement. Like, I understand to take away the injuries, but you put it in to implement, to make it a play, to make it exciting, to make something happen. If we're just getting the same shit with touchbacks, there's no point in really having it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really like the new kickoff rules. Every time I see it, I think about Josh Cribbs and Devin Hester. Like, imagine those guys. Out rest their soul, Jacoby Jones, those guys back in the backfield when no one has to run down the field and hit them until they touch the ball. Like, it wouldn't be fair. Cheap plug. I do think Josh Cribbs should be in the Hall of Fame, especially as a returner now that we got Devin Hester in there. So shout out to Josh Cribbs. But Ty, I'm glad to hear your thoughts on what were some games from week 1 that was kind of eye opening for you.
Let me see, because I did. Thanks to Mike, I got the Sunday ticket. You know, so I was watching a couple games. Realistically, the 1:00 game that really surprised me. I actually did watch the Falcons and Steelers for a little bit because I do have Drake London on my fantasy team. And honestly, the Falcons offense just looks like the complete opposite of last year. It looks like it's just Bijan Robinson. So, I mean, that's a good thing. That's a good thing for Bijan Robinson, but, you know, that game was just Kirk Cousins. I don't know. I'll give him. I want to see how he looks against that Eagles defense, because that's gonna really show you how Kirk Cousins is.
Sure did look terrible, Pacer. And you and Ty also picked the Falcons to win this division. We're gonna show the division predictions again. It is only week 1, so we're not here to panic, you know.
But the other game I watched was that Houston Indy game.
Yeah.
That was a good game.
Anthony Richardson's, completion, not that good, but that was a good game. And to be very close to Houston, I don't know if it was just week 1 jitters, but I don't know. Houston doesn't look as dominant that I expected them to be. It is a division game, so I'll give them that. I'll really evaluate them more based off this Chicago game, because that Chicago defense literally won a week one by themselves. So that defense looks amazing.
Shout out to
Um,
Tyreek on that defense, man. He was in our thumb that had to show something to the defense. Chicago's defense did look great to piggyback on what you were saying, Ty.
yeah, the last other game I watched, that Patriots Bengals game.
Yeah.
This is why I couldn't. This is why I was very shocked when I seen a couple people pick Cincy to win that division, and
Yep,
there
that
is
was
no
me.
way when a team plays like this. The Ravens aren't playing like this. So even if the Ravens have a bad game, we saw that on Thursday. That looks two completely different games. Since he basically got shut out, Jamar Chase was there. He's not signing a long-term extension, so
He be going to
it's
the
going to
Twin
be a tough
Cities.
season for them.
You think he might try to go to the Twin Cities? Go
I
team
think
up with
I
Jettas?
think he'll go anywhere that's going to pay him that has at least a plan at quarterback. He's not going to do that.
Come to the
Burrow was
Patriots.
his college quarterback. So I honestly don't know, because I'm very surprised he would even think about leaving Burrow. You know, but money talks. So clearly Cincinnati's not giving him the money he wants. And we just saw all these wide receivers, make 30 plus million. So he's definitely getting up there. So whoever's willing to pay that, he'll go there.
I agree. Robert Kraft, if you over there, I got to zoom in, look into the camera a little bit more. If you there, pay that man.
That's a big ask of him.
Pay that man. Hey man, listen. Quickly, gonna touch on some things that Ty said. The Falcons, that's why they didn't draft nobody on that team, because they got all these great weapons that can do something, but there's always something there that just doesn't click. So until I see that, I ain't touching the Falcons. As far as the Bengals Patriots game, Mike, I tried to tell you. I said Pats in 3. They won by 6. And it looked like they're going to win today, too. First home game against
I'll explain to you in a few minutes later why you got to be worried about today, but we'll see.
Hey, the thing is, I ain't got much hope for them. So
I'm not saying they can't. I'm not saying they can't win, but that's just a big thing that they got to fix. That's all. I'm not saying they can't.
For sure. I think one of the things I do notice is that they definitely going to need some work on that O-line.
Yep, that's what I'm. Yep.
Exactly. The defense was promising. The defense is fine. Honestly, this is the time to so don't do that, Mike. Respect America. That's right. The real
American. You're talking about the Cowboys.
The Cowboys are America's team. By the way, you see how good that looked, even though, the team they played was, we're not going to get on that. But I do like what the Patriots building. I love what Gerard Mayo's building over there. Again, it's only week 1, so I'm not going to jump to conclusions like, oh, they're going to be a conference championship contender team. No, we're not going to do that. Can they sneak into a wild card? They can, depending on how the dice rolls. Injuries happen. They can't get lucky. So we'll see. But I won't go that far yet. Some of the week 1 games I looked at that I was actually interested was the Texans and Colts again. I think the Colts can be a sleeper team in that division. It all comes down to defense. Yeah, because I think they can put up points.
Fair enough.
And the only question mark is Anthony Richardson. Because if you really think about it, he had 1 start in Florida, 1 career start. He played, 3-4 games last year before he had the shoulder injury to his throwing arm. So he hasn't had time to really get the reps in as some of his other younger quarterback counterparts that has. So he's kind of behind the 8 ball a bit. And it shows at times with some of his projections through his routes and reads. One thing I will say is, though, the potential's there. Like, that pass he threw 60 yards under pressure was beautiful. He got the arm strength. He got the arm talent. He's mobile. He's big size. he's not Cam Newton, but he can bring some type of represent that Cam does with his size and speed and strength. But I think they could be a potential sleeper. That was a good game. I'm not too I'm high on Houston, but I'm not that high on Houston because it's like you got to show me on the field. I'm not out here giving out tickets for them yet. Like they had a great season last year. I need to see them build on it. I do love CJ Stroud. I love all the weapons. I love Will Anderson in that defense. But like I said, they just have to produce. So it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be given to them. But I think if anyone can lead a group of men to a Super Bowl appearance or at least an AFC championship is DeMeco Ryans. And the last game I really was looking at was that Rams and Lions game. I don't know about y'all, but I can watch the Rams and Lions play every day. Stafford versus Goff, that team, those teams just always have fun games to watch, nail biters. Those are some of the I love how that game folded out. That running back tandem of Montgomery and Gibbs with that O-line is going to be scary to deal with. San Fran, you better tighten up them chin straps. Because if you want to come up the NFC, even the Eagles, y'all gonna have to go through Detroit with that running game. Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's
non-factor.
It.
He was a non-factor.
He was a non-factor,
and they still won.
And that was one to say he didn't really do anything in that game, but his presence alone, you have to respect him that they schemed around it and that opened up everything else for the offense. Jared Goff could potentially be a dark horse for MVP if he has the numbers and they win games, kind of like a Baker Mayfield.
You saw my bet I put on last night?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I was gonna say get it while the numbers still good.
Those are really good numbers. But so that's kind of the games I looked at for week 1. Is there any other games I want to touch base on before we get into some hot takes?
One thing about the
you could go, Mike.
I was going to say just quick before about the Lions Rams game. You mentioned about Amon-Ra St. Brown, how he was a non-factor and they still won. Do we think Jameson Williams can become the number 1 wide receiver in this offense? Seeing he's been injured a lot of his career in college and in the NFL, but when he's out on the field, he proves that he's a burner. And I believe he led the league in receiving yards this past week. Do you guys think he could be that new number 1? As seen Amon-Ra's a little undersized. Don't get me wrong, he's a great wide receiver, but I just would like to hear what you guys think about it.
I don't think he can. I think he can be a number 1, but not with Amon-Ra on that team. Because even though the Rams are my favorite team, that secondary is very shaky. It's very shaky. Because you got Trey White coming off Achilles? Yeah, and Achilles, starting being basically the number 1 corner. So I would have to see more how they go against an elite secondary. I want to see how, because, the thing about Jared Goff, since he grew in that Sean McVay offense, he loves his deep threats. Those guys who can burn defenders and just catch it, he loves them, So I think he does have potential. He's obviously the number 2. Laporta was basically a non-factor in that game too. So I do understand what you're seeing, Mike, but I think it just speaks more of how questionable that Rams defense is. It's a lot of young people on that defense, and they have to do what literally they try to do Sunday night, beat them with the offense. It came down to overtime. They didn't get the ball first. What happened? Montgomery just basically ran it for the whole overtime. Yeah,
to piggyback what Ty said, they in that overtime, Detroit took their heart. I think that was another thing to your point, Mike. Amon-Ra and Laporta was non-factors, but they didn't really need them really because of how dominant the run game was in that game. The Rams just couldn't stop the run. And
no Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
With 99, you got We got plenty of problems.
Jared Verse looked very good, I thought, though, for his first
did.
game.
He did.
Yeah, the defense is gonna give them some time.
But they got
that's why I didn't like them trading Ernest Jones, because I still think you need more vets on that defense to really engage that whole defense. You know, that's like the defense is gonna take some time for them to look amazing. But their schedule, they actually facing teams dealing with injuries on that offense. So there is a chance they can easily turn it up. But speaking of the overtime, I want to ask this question to you guys, because this is what's going on all over Twitter. How should the regular season overtime look? Personally, to you in that.
Mike, I'll let you go first.
That's all I'm saying about identical to the postseason. Just like each team, if you get a touchdown, that's not the end of the game. The other team should get the ball and go tit for tat until it's all said and done. Just to get the ball and not even have them touch it is not. I don't think that's the right way to approach it. And I also like the college overtime rules. I think they've had overtime done right for years now, and the NFL has never adopted it.
Quickly explain, what is the college football overtime rules for those watching that aren't familiar?
So basically, they start each drive on the opponent's 25-yard line. It's you first two you can just have to match up. If you get a touchdown, they don't, you win the game. After those two, you got to start going for 2-point conversions if you get the touchdown on the third one. And then if you both tie after that, it's just like penalty kickouts or penalty shootouts in soccer, where you get to go 2-point conversions back and forth, whoever gets it. I think that's just a good way to end it. It brings excitement to the game, instant action, and you get a clear-cut winner.
Yeah, I agree. I think they should just adopt the overtime rules that they have in the postseason, to where each team gets possession. So, for example, with Detroit end up scoring the first drive. We then give the Rams a chance to score a touchdown to match. If they can't come up with that, game's over. Obviously, if there's a turnover, or even if they get 3 points, game's over. I feel like they should allow them to match the points. So like Detroit went down and got a field goal. Now the Rams, if they kick the field goal, we keep going unless they get the touchdown. Then that's the game. But the only way the game should end is if both teams get possession of the ball. One gets a touchdown, the other one doesn't. But that's my take on that.
Do you think they should shut the clock off for overtime?
That pisses me off. NCAA. Yeah, no, I agree with that, Peso. It does make me upset with how.
No, they can't turn the clock off.
They can't turn off
because if they turn the clock off, then it's pretty much technically no ties anymore.
No, it's gonna be
I don't think the NFL's ever gonna just get rid of ties. You know, they're that cruel. I think it would make the league more fun. But you know, there's certain things, especially when it comes to companies, that set rules don't get touched, and I think they won't take the tie away. But I do think it'll take them a couple years to actually reflect the postseason overtime into the regular season. That's pretty much it.
To piggyback on that, playing devil's advocate, I think they should just get rid of ties in general for regular season. I feel like sudden death, like that. One, it's more fun, like Ty mentioned. Two, you get more eyes on the product, and people are going to want to watch. Because if it's games like the Rams, Detroit, or years back in the Super Bowl where you had the shootout with the Eagles and the Pats, people are going to want to sit down and watch it. Everybody remember that game a couple years? I think it was the year Mahomes won his first MVP when he threw 50 touchdowns and 5,000 yards. When he's in the Coliseum against the Rams. Anybody remember that game? How electric that game?
It was the 50, it was like 50.
That Monday night game
or something.
Yes,
like
that was the best football game that I ever watched from the NFL ever. People want to see more of that. So I think if you take away the ties in NFL, that would give more people to watch the part that we want to see sudden death. There will be a winner, just like there is in the playoffs. Now, if you look on the flip side of that, players are at a higher risk of getting injured. Like players that's playing a large amount of snaps can get to risk injury, and then contracts playing a role in that, and you can lose out on money. So I can see where both parties can have their differences, but I would love to see them just overtime. Whoever wins, no ties. Because I ain't got time for these tiebreakers or point differentials. You won the game or you lost the game. Someone's gonna leave here with a double L, and let's leave it at that.
Those point differentials are done wrong too. They don't value defense at all. They do it off of points scored total, which I don't agree with at all. It should be your overall difference in points between points allowed and points scored. If you're just putting the priority on offense, I don't like that for the tiebreaker too. That's another thing I think they should change.
I agree. Real quick, we're gonna just quickly show for those who weren't here last week. We did our first ever pick six fantasy draft. Yeah, teams were stacked because it was just us three and so we're gonna just quickly show what the score updates are so far this week. We have the rest of the games obviously today, and if you have a game tomorrow. But first week we had Mike versus Ty. And
Ty won. We don't even need to play the games today, bro.
Mike said he will not make a comeback.
No.
So,
and then I changed my team name after my terrible hot take last week.
Okay, so say, yeah, of course you're showing this. Oh, this ain't got nothing to do with me and you, Peso, because I don't care. It's only the first week. I plan on doing this every week. So if I'm losing, then I'm gonna show it also. It ain't about. I'm like Michael Jordan. Everybody can talk when they winning, but a real man can talk when it's tied up or when they losing. So this ain't. Trust me. If I'm losing, I'm gonna talk about it. It's all good. The week ain't over anyway. Still got a lot of football today. But here's a quick update for Mike and Ty, and their projected scores. I love how the new update on Yahoo they show the stats on the side of the players. Yeah, real quick, I'm gonna stop the screen share. Let's talk about Tua. But before we get to that, Peso said what that running back did over there in Buffalo. Oh, yeah, James Cook.
Yes, sir.
Don't worry, we'll touch on that soon. It's a career game because I don't think I'm going to get that from him ever again. So
when you're facing the Miami defense, I think you'll find a lot of guys have career games this year, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Anthony Weaver, the one year he was a coordinator in Houston, they were the 32nd ranked defense, and I just think the roster construction is very poor with letting Christian Wilkins go. Andrew Van Ginkley already had a pick six last week. I think they might still be able to sneak into the playoffs even with the Tua injury, but I'm not gonna count on it because I think the main problem of the franchise is still there, and it's not Tua, it's the head coach, and people are finally starting to catch on to him.
If you guys who's watching haven't known, Mike is a Dolphins fan. So he is very honest about his team.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
If you're watching the video, make sure you like and subscribe, man. Join the channel. We got phenomenal content over here. It's free to show love. Ty, what are your thoughts on Tua in the Tua situation? Do you think he should retire, or do you think he should still play once he gets cleared?
It sucks because I grew up loving football, grew up playing football, always wanted to make it to the league. So when you accomplish something like that, you don't want it to be stripped away from you. However, it's more, I think it comes down to what these type of hits are. These aren't crazy, ridiculous hits. This is not Troy Polamalu, coming over the middle, bam, This is not those type of hits. These are just basic, clean hits, and he's getting concussions. So to me, it's gonna happen again. It's like Wes Welker, Granted, some defenders were aiming at Welker's head. However, the consistency of the concussions on minor plays is too alarming for me to say, yeah, throw him back out there. You know,
I agree.
I thought he hit DeMar Hamlin more than DeMar Hamlin even hit Tua.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
watching that play live.
once I saw him go down like that, I literally stopped watching the game because simply it's like it just happens too often for Tua, and it just doesn't look good. I don't think. I think if he is to come back, but I can't even say that. I was gonna say he can't be mobile anymore, but his other concussion, he was in the pocket.
Yeah, he got swung down.
And he just took a ding from the defender. So I just don't understand. It's gonna happen again. And they already said he's not retiring, so there's not much I can speak about that. But it will happen again, and I don't want to act like, you know, a bad guy and say that, but it's just how it is. And like, and it kind of pisses me off because, you know, they talk how the way they talk about these other mobile quarterbacks, you know, like a Lamar, like a Anthony Richardson. These guys don't know how to slide, but these guys aren't getting concussions.
But you know how you brought up Wes Welker? What do the two and Wes Welker have in common? They're the same height, and that's the big issue, I think. And as you said, he's not retiring. The Dolphins have 3 not-so-hard games coming up. I don't know. If they can win 1 or 2 of them, I think they'll be okay, and then they got a bye week. I think he'll probably be back by week 8, in all honesty, because I think when he goes to the neurologist this week, and Adam Scheffner this morning, he didn't seem like he was going to retire at all, but I don't think he's going to be, they're going to say it's all that bad and just you got to watch out. But he lost all that weight in the offseason to try to become more mobile QB, which is stupid. He should have just kept the weight on and stay in the pocket. But Tua is what he is. He's not an elite great quarterback. He's not a bad quarterback. He's just good and serviceable, and he has limitations. That's what it is. So I don't know why he's trying to be someone he's not.
Yeah. It sucks trying to have a conversation about someone else's career. But you gotta start thinking about their health and safety. When watching that play, and for those watching, we're discussing whether or not Tua Tagovailoa should retire. I believe this is his 5th or 6th concussion in the last 3 seasons.
They said third diagnosed, but there's a suspicion of that one that happened in the Buffalo game 2 years ago, I believe, and then I think the one against the Packers on Christmas 2 years ago was not diagnosed either. But there's a suspicion of both, I believe.
Watching that play, it pissed me off just like Ty, because I'm watching him run. I'm like, okay, you got the first down, slide, and he just went head first into DeMar Hamlin. And I knew it was bad because once he made the impact, I seen his hand, and I'm not going to describe it. I don't want no one
fencing
to
response.
Watch it. Yeah, but once I seen that, I was like, oh, he's done. He's not playing the rest of this game. And that wasn't even as bad as the one when he got slammed to the floor, and his hands was like that, but they had to put him on the stretcher.
Yeah, it's in Cincinnati. Yeah.
It sucks because, like Ty said, you work so hard, you sacrifice so much to get to this position. Now you're finally in this position. Now it's almost like people force you to stop doing what you love because of your health and safety, and because they want you there for your family. It is a dangerous sport, you know. Anyone can't just go out there and put on pads and play football. Like you have to understand what you're getting into and what you're trying to do, and understand this one of the ways that you're gonna try to feed your family. I pray that he doesn't get another situation like this, but someone who had concussions before, once you get the first one, it's a lot easier to get the others.
Yep.
So I just pray he doesn't get another concussion, because I believe wholeheartedly if he does have another one after this one, I think it's done. It's done for him.
I agree with what Peso said, too. That was spot on, I think, with the comment that he made.
Yeah.
He's his own worst enemy. But another thing is too is I think you might actually see Tua retire, but it's not going to be this year. It could be in the off season. I think it could be like an Andrew Luck situation where he's going to need something to happen with him in football that's non-concussion or injury related, where say he's like, hey, it's not worth it anymore, and I don't have the interest in it. So I think you might actually even see him play out this season and then maybe retire in the off season. And the good thing is too is I'm sure Stephen Ross will give him his money regardless whether he plays or not.
Now you touched on something, Ty, where you said he just when you was bringing up to a skill set, and I'm glad you brought that up because this is leading right into the next subject on the show that we were going to discuss. Ty, I know you've seen it in the group chat. We're going to touch base on the Shedeur Sanders slander that might
I wouldn't consider it slander, bro. I wouldn't consider it slander, and I'll explain why. But let's go.
Yeah, Mike. I don't know you that take that he will not be drafted in the first round is very.
No, I never said he wouldn't. He said he shouldn't because the thing is he will be drafted in the first round for jersey sales, but he should not be drafted in the first round.
And Mike, I'm gonna give you the floor. Why shouldn't he be?
So basically, if you look over history, I know you actually touched on this earlier, which I liked with Anthony Richardson. They didn't play many games at Florida. You look back over the history of the NFL and quarterbacks that weren't able to win in the FBS. I know he won in the FCS at Jackson State. He went undefeated. But quarterbacks that weren't able to win in the FBS do not have a good track, like by their last season of being in there, did not have a good track record in the NFL. And then a big problem that I see with him too is I think if you because the way you word is like he's going to be the savior of a franchise. I can't see him being the savior of a franchise when he's like Kyler Murray, but with less athleticism and less arm talent. Granted, he's a few inches taller than him, but he misses too many open receivers. And it's not that he's a bad quarterback. I just don't see that game translating to the next level at all. Because look at Caleb Williams. He had no line last year. The wide receivers were not as good as what they got in Colorado. And he had no defense, and he was still able to pull out 8 wins on that team.
Would you contribute Caleb's success last year to also schemes?
Well, you got Pat Shurmur running that Colorado offense.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think Shedeur has some things he has to work on. Like I feel like it's time where he stays in the pocket too long. What I mean by that is he takes sacks too much. Now, granted, his O-line is not good either because he's probably the most sacked quarterback he was last season. That O-line was putrid. But there is situations where he takes unnecessary sacks. He does miss some throws. I understand. But to say he shouldn't be the first round, I don't know. Considering the teams that's going to be at the top of the first, who's going to need quarterbacks? Carolina. I made this joke during the group chat.
I could see them.
Miami should just shut down Tua and go for that Shedeur pick.
I'm good on him, bro.
I think Shedeur can go into this Miami offense and do just the same, if not better, than what Tua has done. On the plus side, he is more healthy, so he's going to be more available. Because one thing he does do better than any quarterback in college, in my opinion, is he has very good poise in that pocket, and he makes the clutch throws that he needs to make in clutch moments. So that's something that I believe he can do exceptionally well in the next level, especially with the weapons like a Tyreek Hill, Jaden Waddle, and all the speed running receivers on that team. Ty, I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about Mike saying that Shedeur shouldn't go first round?
Yeah, because I think he will. I think Carolina will draft him as well, too, especially with that owner. He just wants to make the money. He does not care about winning.
I mean, I don't think he's like that bad that everyone makes him out to be. Because if you really look at his games, his worst game last year, I believe was against Oregon. He got sacked 6 times.
Yes,
6 times.
That O-line is horrible, man. I was trying to tell
And his worst game this year, Nebraska, 5 times.
I didn't even watch that game. I'm not going to lie. So this is an unbiased opinion to that Nebraska game.
I watched that
But
Nebraska game because I wanted to see him versus the Dylan Riola.
Riola, I don't know
Riola.
how to say his last name.
but Mike, I do agree with you when you're saying he is not a franchise savior. I don't think he's a a number one pick. I don't think he can go into Carolina with no receiving core and the offensive line looking like that, and go make him a playoff team.
Yeah.
However, I feel like him and the right fit in our offense, I think he will look way better. I think
Like
if you put him in like a New Orleans,
I was about to say that. Put him in
a
New
New
Orleans.
Orleans that has the receivers, you know, I think the game will translate for him. But if you're expecting him to go change a franchise and lead an offense with no receivers, he's not gonna do that. He's not gonna do that.
It's funny you said
But
Derek.
I would love to see him in Tennessee with that defense and the receivers he has. They can do something over there too.
But it's funny because you're comparing them to it. They both have the same top attributes, supposedly. They both say, which I disagree with actually, this on both of them. They say that their top attribute is an accurate passer. I think he's a good passer, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't say he's like overly accurate. And I wouldn't say the same about Tua either. He's not overly accurate. Tua is like a left-handed Derek Carr, in my opinion. When he's got time in the pocket, he's good. When he doesn't, he sucks. He is what he is. And
I don't want to
think
cut
Shador
you off.
would be any different.
I want to ask you because you brought up the accuracy. What do you look into? What do you look for in a quarterback as far as accuracy? Do you have to be efficient in the pocket? Do you have to make tight throws? Like what are some of the things that you look into?
At what level, NFL or college?
Both.
Both. Okay.
In this case, with Shador compared to Shador, so yeah.
In college, so with college, I could care less about anything that's on the stat sheet.
Peso said, "Mike, do you believe he'll be successful in the NFL?"
No, I don't think he'll be able to win games in the NFL because I just don't think the games translate. Because when I look at the college games, as I said, I throw the stat sheet out. It's you got some crap receivers on a lot of these teams where guys are making perfect throws and the ball gets dropped. And what you can do in college is not as important as what you can't do. So, like last night, for example, Shador had a great pass to the end zone, and I forget who it was, but he put it right on his fingers and the dude dropped it. But there's multiple times that Jimmy Horn's open, Weaver's open, and he just misses them. He throws off his back foot a lot. And I don't see the game translating to the next level at all. I see a lot of similarities between him and Mitchell Trubisky, if you want me to be honest.
So last year, at least when I look into the accuracy for quarterbacks, college, NFL, I look into the touchdown interception ratio, their QBR, and I look into their completion percentages. And Shador last season in Colorado, he completed 69% of his passes. So to me, I think that's right there as far as when you look at the elite throwers of the ball in college. Does he have the biggest arm? No. Is he the most accurate? He's up there, but you can name some other quarterbacks in college that's probably more accurate. You can make that argument. But I just believe this season, by the way, he's completed 70% of his passes. So he's consistent in that regard. I just think, do I think he'd be a franchise quarterback? No, depending on where he gets drafted. But do I think he'd be an elite or at least bottom of elite tier A quarterback? Yes. Because one thing he does not do a lot of, if any, is turn the ball over, and that immediately will translate in the NFL. I do agree he does throw off that back foot a little too much for me, and that can be an issue that he has to clean up because if you go against some savvy defensive backs like the big play slays, they're gonna pick off on those, and they're gonna be able to react to those. So that's something that I think he can clean up. But I don't think there's no quarterback coming out of this draft that's clear cut.
Oh, I agree with that 100%.
So that's another reason why when you said that, I was kind of like, I pushed back because it's like there's no clear cut one QB1 in this draft. I believe the QB1 is Shador, but you can make the argument for Quinn or Carson
I think Cam Ward over Carson.
I love Cam Ward.
I don't think Carson's going to have any success in the NFL whatsoever. He's just like the guy that was there before him.
Jake Fromm?
Yeah, he's no different than him. He's not going to have any success in the NFL. He's a waste of a draft pick, if you ask me.
Yeah, I love what I see from Cam Ward. I personally think, depending on how the order goes, I can't remember his name, but he's the left tackle. I think the left tackle from LSU.
Yeah.
New England need to snatch him up desperately. But I think him or Travis Hunter is going to be the top 3 picks.
Travis Hunter is a generational player, man. I don't care what anyone says. That's the one guy in Colorado I believe the hype on, like Jimmy Horn Jr. I think
Jimmy could be a late, early second-round pick as a ceiling.
Yeah, I think he'll go. If he went into the NFL draft this year, I think he's an undrafted free agent. Not to say that he can't make a team and be a slot receiver, but I think he's very undersized and he drops a lot of balls.
You don't think he can get drafted? Because I don't think this year's wide receiver group is that deep. Like, they got some dogs coming out, but I don't think it's that deep enough where he doesn't go undrafted. As I said, I think his ceiling can be a late first, early to mid second, but I think he could probably fall into that mid second to third round, like day 2 kind of a guy. But I think he can produce depending on where he goes. Like, you put him in New Orleans aside of Olave, I think he could be serviceable, or even in Vegas with Tay Adams if Tay's still there, because he can learn from Tay and Malachi. I mean Jacoby.
Yeah, I'm not saying he can't, but I wouldn't be surprised because there's plenty of guys that got undrafted free agents that are able to do something. But I think the best thing for Shedeur and Jimmy, not Travis Hunter, but everyone else on that team, is, I know probably Shedeur won't do it, but go to a different school and just get another year or 2 of experience, because I believe he has at least 1 more year of eligibility. I think he would benefit greatly from going to a different conference, because SEC defenses are the closest things to NFL defenses. And one thing I also want to hit on that you said earlier about looking at the college quarterback stats with the interceptions, you look at these guys, there's not many of them that throw a lot of picks. Like, look at Drake May. He didn't throw a lot of picks in North Carolina, but you look at his deep balls that he throws in North Carolina, and they're all underthrown. And in the NFL, those are going to be picks most of the time.
Yeah. But Ty, you have any other final thoughts on this particular part of Shedeur that we talked about?
Yeah, I want to touch back on the accuracy. I think what these analysts really, how they determine the accurate thing is how accurate the quarterback is with his number 1 option. And honestly, Shedeur is in Travis Hunter. That's how accurate it can get in football, So I think I understand, and to basically piggyback from my last point, I believe that if he gets drafted to a team that has a number 1, like the Vegas with Tay Adams, Saints with Chris Olave, if he goes to those teams with a number 1, I think the game will translate. However, if he goes to a team like the Giants, where he has to build something with Malik Neighbors, and where the whole rest of the team isn't that good, I don't know. It just won't be possible.
Peso.
He said he disagreed. Wow.
Yeah, do you disagree? What exactly do you disagree? Oh, on Carson Bet. Oh, he thinks. Oh, he said he's in the chat active. I don't know. I don't think Carson Beck's going to be that good on the next.
He's a backup.
Exactly.
He's a backup.
One thing I want to say to Peso too is to clarify my comments, how I said Jacoby Brissett was better than Shedeur in the chat.
Mike, let me cut you off real quick. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was going to be the next thing I was going to get to is you mentioning Shedeur not being better than Jacoby Brissett, and naming 10 or more quarterbacks in college better than him. So we can
Well, I
start
don't know
with
if I
the
can name
Brissett.
10, but I can name close. But here's why Jacoby Brissett, and I don't think you can say any NFL quarterback is better than him, other than maybe these rookies that haven't played games yet, or maybe even Bryce Young. And that's a stretch because it's just look at how long it takes these guys to translate to the next level. And Jacoby Brissett's a journeyman quarterback who's been able to stay in the league for about 10 years now. I don't see how you can say anyone in college is better than him because I don't think most of these guys will even be able to last that long.
Well, when you put it in that perspective, I can understand your point of view. I was looking at it solely off of this skill set and their talent. I think Shador is better.
He has more
But
potential than him, obviously, but
I wouldn't
Jacoby's
even
proven what he can do.
potential. I wouldn't even argue the potential side of it. I'm just looking at from there with their skill set: short pass, medium pass, deep pass, mobile, throw on the run, accuracy, all the stuff that you want to cook up for a quarterback. I think Shador is slightly better than Brissett for those reasons. But Ty, what you think?
But Mike, that brings me back to my point because if you put Shador in New England, it's not gonna look great because the only reason why Jacoby Brissett made Patriots win that game was by taking off that veteran mentality. He knew when to take off because he knew that O-line couldn't hold up. Shador behind a bad O-line is not gonna look good. However, you're telling me that Gardner Minshew will look better in a Vegas offense than Shador? I don't think so. I
Well, I
don't
can
think so.
tell you, he looked better in the Indy offense last year, but he knows Steichen's playbook inside and out, so I don't even want to make that comparison. But the thing you got to remember about Jacoby Brissett too is this past years he had one good game at Washington last year, yes, but you go back to Cleveland and then the few games he played in Miami, he had pieces to work with and he did nothing. But to still be able to stay in the league and to have the IQ and to be able to pull off that win last week, which is a very lucky win, and I'm sure we'll get into that coming up. But I can't sit here and say any college quarterback is better than anyone in the NFL except for some of these rookies. That's all.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's better. I'm saying you don't think the offense would look even slightly better?
I think
In New England?
No,
Shador?
Not in New England. I'm
in
talking
Vegas.
about
Vegas?
Shador going to
Raiders.
Vegas or New Orleans. Well, New Orleans
Uh,
Panthers, but mostly Vegas. I think the offense would look a little better than having Gardner Minshew there, in my opinion.
I think he looked better in Denver.
I think they're trying to work something with Bo Nix.
Bo Nix, yeah.
I wouldn't put him with Sean Payton. Because Sean Payton is a hard coach, and I don't think Shador needs to go to a coach like that because he won't have success.
and then it's how Peso brought up about Carson Beck being decent. So look at what Kentucky's defense did to him last night. I'm not going there. I'm not going there. But with Shador, you look at the defense that he played last night against Colorado State, and he struggled in the beginning, but he got through it and got who Carson Beck?
Peso, I need whatever you pay. Hey, Peso, whatever you got over there, swing that over here, because that must be some good ish right there, boy.
Because if you put Shador against that Kentucky defense and that Georgia offense, I want to see what he could do compared to Carson Beck. Because I just don't think, even though Carson Beck's a great college quarterback, I don't think you're going to see that success at the next level. But I want to see Shador go against some of the best defenses in college to see how they match up. Because last year in the Pac-12, which I know they're in the big or Pac-10, whatever it was, and they're in the Big 12 now. But last year they had some of the best teams in the league. Yes, but the best defenses, no, they were all powerhouse offenses in that conference.
And that was another thing I wanted to quickly mention too. That Colorado defense is not good at all. It is,
especially with Shallow out.
And I think I always thought Shallow was solid, but seeing him not be there as the anchor on the top of the secondary shows a lot. Like, he's a thumper, in my opinion. But what is it? Number 20, the linebacker on Colorado, or 29? I forgot. I don't remember his name, but he was a transfer. That boy can play. I like him. Like, they got pieces, but it's just they got to put it all together. Like, they got the peanut butter. Now they got to put the jam on it and make it work. But that linebacker in Colorado, he nice. I like him a lot. He hit. Like, don't come through that gap thinking it's gonna be sweet. So I love that. But yeah. Moving on. I want to hear those quarterbacks that's better than Shador. And this will be the last thing for Shador. I know we went on this a little too long. But I feel like we talked about this a lot in our group chats. I figured why not bring it up to the show.
Yeah, no, for sure. These are not in any order because I'm just grouping all these guys together. I don't read much into college quarterbacks because once they get up to that next level, it's a whole new game. But these are guys that I think you can say some are on the same level and some are better. I think Quinn Ewers is better. Jackson Dart, I think, is very close to him, but he could definitely be better than him by the time it's all said and done. We've only seen 3 games from Miller Moss, and he has looked great. You got Cam Ward, which we've already talked about. Another guy that I didn't mention in the chat is Nico. I forget how to pronounce his last name. The kid from Tennessee.
Oh yeah. Wait, you said Moss? Are you talking about Miller Moss from USC?
Yes, Miller Moss from USC. He's only played 3. As I said, starter, but he's looked very good in those 3 games. And that's the same thing with that Nico kid from Tennessee. I haven't seen him much, at least, but from what I've seen, it's been good. Carson Beck, you'd put him over him just simply as a college quarterback, not overall as a quarterback. And then Jalen Milroe, I think they're one and the same. But with Jalen Milroe, I think him having that experience in the SEC and being able to go up against those defenses, I give him the nod over Shador slightly. And Jalen Miller is getting much better in the past year, but he's still not there, in my opinion.
The floor is yours, Ty. I want to hear these thoughts about this.
Honestly, I'll give you Ewers. Cam Ward, I'll give you. Moss, you said only first 3 games, so I understand. But I don't know, man.
I'm surprised he mentioned.
I don't know. I think he's top 5.
I think he's top quarterback from Arizona.
Oh, Noah Fafita, yeah, I'm sorry. The guy mentioned in the chat. That's another guy too. I think he has the potential to be in something in the NFL, Fafita, but he's a little undersized, which scares me.
I don't give Jalen Milroe that nod. I understand when it comes to the SEC, but I've seen too many quarterbacks look good in the SEC and not do anything in the NFL.
That's true.
So
that's true.
It's a hit or miss. So I agree with you, and I understand it's hard to rank him, especially in the conference they're in. But I would say at least top 5. If you want to put him at 4 or 5, that's fine. But there's not 5 quarterbacks because everyone's questionable.
No, I agree.
You know, there's no, like you guys said, there's no clear-cut number 1. Like usually every year there's a clear-cut number 1.
Yeah.
But now it's just up there, and especially that's why I'm saying the league. There's a couple teams that need quarterbacks.
The Giants.
So,
even though
Giants
they
definitely.
They just paid Daniel. They gave Daniel all that money. Like,
they have to take one. They have to take one.
I would love to see Jalen Milroe on the Giants. I think him and Malik Neighbors would be nice to see. I just would love to see it. I don't think he's the best fit, but I think I would love to see it. The reason why I got so animated when you mentioned Jalen Milroe in our group chat was because, again, when I look at these quarterbacks, I'm looking at the overall game, the passing
body of work, yeah.
Exactly their body work, yep, for sure. But their skill set, the deep ball, medium to short, on the run, going through reads, being able to move up and move out the pocket when needed to be. All these things, right? Being able to progress to make adjustments at the line of scrimmage when they're going against different defenses. I would clearly give Milroe the mobile edge. Like, I think he clears Shador on that by far. He's stronger, quicker, all that when it comes to mobile. when you talk about throwing the ball, is where I think there's the different gap. Now, Milroe has improved. He has improved tremendously
He sucked before last year.
from the beginning of last year to for example, from the beginning of the last college football season to the second half, two completely different Jalen Milroes under Nick Saban. So he progressed on to that during the offseason, it seems like, and he looks so much better now. And I think the receiver, his name's Ricky Williams, is it? I can't. I apologize if I missed
I haven't watched any Bama games.
I watched a few snaps because I was going back and forth through games. But him and his receiver, they have a great core chemistry. I just don't think he's a better thrower of the ball than Shedeur. Now, does he have more arm power? Yes, because Jalen Milroe could throw that sucker downfield. Like he can bomb the ball. Shedeur, that's one of the things that he doesn't have. Like he doesn't have that glaring arm talent to throw the ball deep down the field. But he has the accuracy and I believe that he could make the throw into tight windows at an accurate and elite level if given the time compared to Jalen Milroe. Because I know I touched on the offensive line and all this stuff. Any quarterback, if they don't have time to throw that ball, they're gonna look mediocre or bad. Like that's just a given. So that's why I said we swapped them out. If you put Milroe on Colorado and you put Shedeur on Alabama, I promise you these will be different conversations. Because the O-line play, the weapons, the whole shebang. So that's kind of like how I take. But from what you mentioned and why you have him where you have him, I'm not mad at that. But I do think he should at least be a top 5 quarterback.
See, but then the other thing you got to remember is look at how the low rate of success for guys that come out of college quarterbacks going to the NFL. So if he's just barely touching the top 5 at that level, how do you think that's going to translate to the next level? Statistics would just say it's not good. I'm not saying that he can't, but that's a big question mark in my head right there. Because if we're even having that conversation, that should be a red flag right there.
I agree. Real quick, I'm just going to show the matchup between me and Peso for this week on Fantasy.
And with Peso said, too, about that Kentucky defense. I'm giving SEC defenses all the credit in the world. That's why I said I think it would be different if he went to the SEC. I'm not criticizing them at all. They played phenomenal last night, and SEC defenses are the closest thing in the college to NFL defenses.
I agree. So real quick, here's the update on points for me and Peso's matchup this week. Now, again, Peso hasn't had anyone play this week yet. I had James Cook this past Thursday, and if you watched the game, James Cook looked like he was going against high school. He was cooking, no pun intended. So here's the updated points. I just picked up Joe Mixon not too long ago because CMC's on injured reserve. He's on IR, so he's going to miss at least 4 games. So I picked up Joe Mixon to pair with James and Saquon. So that's that for the fantasy.
Didn't want to go with Jordan Mason, huh?
I was honestly looking at him.
You look good. He looks like Marshawn Lynch, bro.
He looked really good. But I was just like, I'm going to go with something that's more proven. I feel like he will get more touches on both run and pass. So I went with Mixon.
Yeah, because Debo's going to be getting more touches too now with CMC gone.
And if you think about it too, I have Saquon and James Cook.
That's a solid combo as long as Saquon stays healthy.
I'm not saying Cook's going to give me what he gave me last on Thursday, but goal line plays, he definitely will get the touches to get the end zone. So he will get points off of that.
Buffalo has a very tough schedule coming up too. Just a little heads up to you.
Yes. Before we go into the week 2 schedule, I wanted to show our predictions for everyone that's watching. Just so far, it's only been week 1, so it's good. It's not much difference yet, but so far this is the AFC. Now we don't have Peso's AFC predictions up here, but we did have clips for that week when we went over these predictions. Let me just change this because I have it in the tabs. Set it NFC just for NFL. So Mike has the Jets. The Jets are 0-1. Well, Clips, Mike, and Ty all picked the Jets. So far, they lost their first game against San Fran. I picked the Dolphins. Looks like I might have to move to Miami at this rate, the way they've been
But
playing.
if I didn't pick the Dolphins, bro, you should have known not to pick the Dolphins.
The Bills, I believe, are leading the division currently because they are 2-0. The Patriots are 1-0. They play Seattle later on today. We're going to go over those week 2 predictions. The AFC West, really quickly, everyone picked the Chiefs. The Chiefs won their first game. The Raiders are second. Ty had the Broncos second. Make sure. It was Clips. I'm sorry. Clips had the Broncos second. We're going to go over the records. Again, it's only been 1 week, but just let everyone see who we picked for these division winners. And halfway through the season, we're going to look at these, and we possibly will do an updated list to see who we got. Do's or don'ts. AFC North, Mike and Clips took the Bengals. And Ty took the Ravens.
That North I'm fine with. It's that South.
And
there's a couple of things I would switch, but
I did say the South might be the most toughest division to sleep on. We all picked the Texans except for, I believe except for me, yeah. I had to make sure I picked the Jags.
The Jaguars did not look good.
They yeah.
Don't read into that game, bro. The Jaguars are going to be just fine.
But here's the thing: they're put in a tough position today because they face Cleveland, I believe.
Yes, they do.
And if they lose to Cleveland,
they're gonna start 0-2, and it's looking.
It does not look good.
Look good, especially the way the Colts looked. Tennessee didn't look too bad either. It was just
their offense didn't look too good.
Yeah.
The defense didn't look good.
And I don't think DeAndre Hopkins played that game.
He was a decoy.
He would have been. He would be a big difference, but we obviously know he ain't the same D-Hop. So this is our AFC for everyone that's watching. The NFC, I picked the Commanders. Now
that's not looking good, bro.
Before we get into it, it was a reach. I was just in the moment. I was like, why not? If I'm right, I look like a genius. If I'm wrong, it was obvious. So I just wanted to go with the Commanders. I still believe in Jaden Daniels. He got a long way to go.
Honestly, the Commanders, that game, I was going to bring this up, did not look bad. Their only problem was the receiving core.
What about their secondary?
Oh, their secondary. Well,
I think
hold on. Let me retract my statement. The offense didn't look bad. he just needs receivers. That's why I hate trading Jahan Dotson for them. But I think if he went in with that same receiving core, I think the Commanders would have been
they should go
a nice little sleeper. Yeah, but
he ain't gonna be the same Michael Thomas, but
he ain't gonna be the same. But
he'd be better what they have as a second option now. Pair him up with Terry McLaurin.
But honestly, I think the Commanders probably just, do whatever this season. You got Jamar Chase available next season.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase, Terry McLaurin. Whoo.
Peso and Todd, you guys picked the Eagles. Mike took the Cowboys. So everyone's looking pretty good but me. It's okay. I'm
waiting for the Cowboys to disappoint. So
don't worry, that'll be in the playoffs.
We all picked the Niners. They looked pretty good in that first game against the Jets.
I want to see the CMC injury.
Yes, because I think that's going to be a big
issue. So definitely by week 8, that Niner pick might change.
You should say what you said in the group chat too about that.
Yeah, I feel like it's very questionable. I'm telling you, if they had it, I believe they came out with the report before the last game of the preseason for them, or it could have been a little after. But they already knew he had this injury. They waited to basically 2 hours before the Monday night game to rule him out. Then an early report was like, he's going to miss the Vikings game. But then he said he feels good. But then they rule him out for the Vikings game. then put him on IR. So that's already 6 weeks he's missing.
And
And
if
it's
everyone watching, his
it
Christian
and
McCaffrey has Achilles and calf injury that's being reported, which for him, how he plays, his speed, his shiftiness, and being a running back are very serious injuries, and you have to monitor those things.
and especially I'm glad you said his specific injury, because when you're saying calf and Achilles, that means something's going on. And that means depending what he does, that can cause
His
real
career,
damage, you
it
know?
can legit cause if he's actually
So
having the calf and Achilles, and it's the same leg. That could be his career, because for those who don't know, the Achilles starts from basically the top or the bottom of your heel and goes all the way up, connecting to the calf. So, and I know I ain't majoring no biology. I just know because I dealt with this in high school. So when you have that soreness there, or when you rupture or pop it, it's literally just dangling. It's almost as if someone it's like they call it the look back for a reason, because I feel like someone shot you. So that, along with the calf, his entire lower leg is pretty much just gone, just dangling. So I would be very cautious if I'm on the McCaffrey side of the team on how to manage and deal with this. If it's really as bad as this, I honestly would just shut him down. I'll shut him down, honestly.
and I wouldn't be surprised, because to bring up that's 6 weeks, but they said it's 6 weeks till they reevaluate him. They can reevaluate him after the 6 weeks and see no change. So if they see no change, nothing's being, becoming healthy,
Mm-hmm.
that means that's longer than 6 weeks. So the Niners is going to be very questionable. Honestly, I'm not even surprised, because when's the last time we seen back-to-back healthy seasons from CMC?
That's very true.
Yeah, that's true.
When I said too to mention the
go ahead,
thing in
Mike.
the group chat, I was thinking more of along the lines of what you said of how they play from behind. Because look at how much
Definitely.
look at how much they struggled with last year with the Vikings. And Brian Flores, like, it's criminal that he does not have a head coaching job. He is,
yes,
I cannot,
a great coach.
I've met him before. He's a great guy, great coach. I think it's pathetic that McDaniel has a job. Guys like McDaniel, Mike McCarthy. You go down the list of coaches that have jobs, and that he doesn't. He is a great guy, great coach. And
Much, Mike, and this is gonna suck because you're a Dolphins fan. Just imagine if they would have listened to him and they just took Justin Herbert and not Tua.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm not. See, that's not the thing. I'm not a big Justin Herbert guy. I don't think that. Like,
but he is better than Tua.
He's got more skill set than him. But Justin Herbert still has not been able to display the winning ways. Yes, he's had the bad coaches, but he hasn't been able to display that he can really win at this level. Yes, he had the one season where they made it into the playoffs, but I think they should have gone. I'm not a big fan of drafting quarterbacks. Period. I'd like to take a proven guy and sign him. That's just the way I would approach things.
So, in other words, Justin Herbert is Justin Rivers until further notice.
Oh, yeah, that's a fair statement. You could say that.
But yeah, with the 49ers playing from behind, like I said, Christian McCaffrey, he's a big part of this offense because he's a game changer. Sometimes they don't get him going, and they're down by 2 scores. Then they get him going, and now they're up by 14. So I've seen it happen. I think it's gonna be hard, especially with Ayuk's first game, how he looked. If he keeps looking like that, there's only so much you can do before Deebo Samuel gets hurt. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that. But one thing, too, is with Deebo is I just think I think too, if he gets hurt, it's going to be a lot of trouble too, based on what happened with Ricky Pearsall, because they were expecting him to be able to replace Ayuk or Samuel if Ayuk left, or Samuel. Samuel got injured. Now with him being on the non-football injury list, I believe he can't come back for 4 games at least, regardless.
Yeah. So I don't know. I want to see how they look against Minnesota today. But their next couple games, I think they're in the division twice. So it's gonna be scary for them. Let's see what Purdy can actually do.
So till Moose gets back, we'll go over our NFC North predictions right here. All across the board, we have the Lions and Musa.
Yeah, Musa had the Packers.
And then for the NFC South, we got I believe that is me and Musa on the Bucks, and then Ty and Foots had the Falcons.
I underrated the Bucks. Honestly, I got them in that third. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. I could see. I don't know what you feel about this, Ty, but I could see a dark horse for MVP as Baker Mayfield. I don't know. I don't think he led the league in passing last week, but he was close.
Sorry about that,
Oh, but he made
good.
It was a crazy. That was an amazing game from him. But I want to see the consistency from Baker Mayfield.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah.
We've seen these flashes.
We'll see. We'll see, and especially like you brought up that secondary in Washington. Of course,
Yeah, that's true.
Who's not having a game like that against that secondary?
Mm-hmm. Mike Evans gonna have another 1,000 yards receiving.
I'll touch on this more when we get to our picks for today, but I don't know. We'll see with Baker Mayfield.
Quick, is Mike Evans top 10 all time receiver?
Possibly, not yet.
I think he is, considering his body of work, and he has the resume to be.
The resume's there. However, we'll see. I have to really look at
10, 11 straight seasons of 1,000 yards.
I think it's 10,
with terrible quarterbacks
throughout
his career. So
yeah, Jameis Winston.
Well, Baker Mayfield's probably arguably his second best quarterback he played with. So.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick and
Did
Brady.
Y'all see what Gerald McCoy said on the Deshaun Jackson and Shady McCoy podcast?
Nah, what did he say?
So remember the historical eat the W from Jameis?
What did you say?
Remember when Jameis did the pregame speech and he said he got
I did see this actually.
Did you see what he said? What Jameis said before they got on the field in the locker room? It was bad, Ty. It was bad.
Nah, I heard it. I wouldn't say it's bad.
Hey, man,
I wouldn't say it's bad.
He worded it was crazy.
Hey, I don't know, bro. Yeah. Like when I don't know. You try and get your team riled up on the field. You just gotta,
But you can't.
Jared McCoy probably wasn't feeling it, but
nobody.
I bet you. I bet you
was there too. He was like, "Nah, you can't tell a bunch of grown men. Sometimes you gotta just whip it out and show them who's
who's bigger, that, bro." But some people think like that.
Say that,
some people think like that, But Jameis Winston, I just wish he had a better career.
Coming from him too, that's the funny thing.
But that's what I'm saying. He has the characteristics of a franchise quarterback. Personally, how he is, his personality. Like, I think coaches would love this guy, but his play is the questionable thing. So
yeah. Quickly though, we're gonna look at the CFB. I'm gonna rename it, but it's college football and NFL pick'em points. So far, we're on week 2 of the NFL and week 3 in college football. And here's the points that are updated. Now, this is going to look a lot better once we get everything updated. Mike, can you real quickly just talk to the audience about what we're doing here? And I can go over who's leading in points and stuff.
So we pick college games every week of the top 25 matchups. So we've been playing each other in all the NFL matchups. Point system we got going basically is if you take a team minus points, you get 3 points if you get that prediction correct. If you take a team straight up, you get 2 points. And if you take a team getting points, you get 1 point. Just there's a little bit of strategy involved. And if you think a team's going to win that's an underdog, you shouldn't be getting the same amount of respect for them that they would be getting taking the plus points, because that's just an unfair advantage in my opinion. But so far, we got Clips in first place with 36 points. I'm in second place with 29. We got Musa in third place with 25. Peso in fourth with 24, tying fifth with 21, but I'm sure all of this will change as we go forward in the season.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we while we're already on the subject, we could go right into the picks for today for the college.
Yep. All right.
So for those watching, the 3 college games we're picking today is Tennessee at Oklahoma, Utah at Oklahoma State, and USC at Michigan.
Yep. So
we have Tennessee minus 7.5, Utah's +1, and USC's -6.
Okay, so we're on college games first. All right. Let's see. I gotta get my sheet ready here. I got Clips and Pesos picks also here that I will be reading out.
Yes, Clips and Peso, they said they picked. I can go over them really quickly.
I was going to say, how about this? How about you read Clips and I read Pesos, just so I don't have to go back and forth on my phone?
Yes, I'm looking to see if Clips said his college. I don't think he said college. I think he just did NFL. So I'll get that after we.
Oh no, I got his college right here.
Oh,
he sent them to me, the college one. So I was going to say, I'll do Clips and you do Pesos.
All right. I don't have Clips' college picks though. So.
I got them. So you can read off Pesos and I'll read off Clips'. So for the first college game, we got Tennessee at Oklahoma. Tennessee is -7.5.
Tennessee is -7.5.
Yeah.
At Oklahoma, I'm gonna take Tennessee with the points.
All right.
Peso is taking Tennessee straight up.
All right. Who you taking, Ty?
I'm gonna go Oklahoma with the spread.
Okay. I am gonna take. I'm gonna go Tennessee straight up. Okay, next game we got is Utah at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State is -1.
Peso took Oklahoma State straight up.
Okay. Clips had Oklahoma State straight up as well.
I'm gonna take them. I'm gonna take Oklahoma State straight up.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Oklahoma State.
Okay. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Utah on this one.
I was thinking about the Utes, but
Cam Rising's injured. That's the only thing that's making me worry a little bit. But Oklahoma State has not looked all that good recently, especially with almost getting upset by Arkansas and what they did this week. So the last college game of the week we got is USC at Michigan. USC is -6. Clips has Michigan with the points.
Peso has USC straight up.
Okay. I'm going to take
everyone watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Please don't forget to send your businesses. Leave a comment so we can shout you guys out on the show.
I'm going to take
channels anything.
I'm going to take USC -6. Who would you guys like?
I'm gonna do USC.
USC. All right.
Yeah, USC straight up.
Same. What did Clips take?
He took Michigan +6. It's a bold prediction with the way they looked. All right. So now we'll get into the NFL games.
He must know something we don't, since he.
Yeah, for real. So for the NFL games, we'll start off with the hometown game here first. Seattle at New England. Seattle is -3.
Do you want to start with Pesos picks, and I read off?
Either one. I got both of them in front of me. I just need to do the other screen for Clips' college picks.
Gotcha.
And I'll be writing them down quicker because these abbreviations are much shorter.
Cool. So this first game says Seattle.
Yep, New England. I got Clip says New England straight up.
Yep, he got him straight up. I got him straight up as well.
Yeah, I'm taking Seattle -3. Peso's got New England straight up. You said you want New England straight up, Musa?
Yes, sir.
What about you, Ty?
Let me get Seattle -3.
So now, as I've teased earlier, the one thing that scares me about New England going forward with that offensive line, Ramondre Stevenson, all the credit in the world to him with what he did last week. He averaged 4.8 yards a carry, and he averaged 4.8 yards carry, 4.8 yards per carry after contact, which shows that offensive line has a lot of problems to address. And then with Cincinnati, if the dude's not trying to showboat going into the end zone or the Gesicki play doesn't get called back for a flag, they lose that game. So I can't get behind New England yet, but I like what Gerard Mayo's doing. He's taking the Mike Tomlin approach and playing games defensive, down and dirty with offense that can't really put up points, run the ball, don't turn it over. So I like his approach so far, but we'll see what he brings to the table this week.
And I think we match up pretty well with their offense. It just if we could stop the run, that would help us. I like Keon White. I love the Kyle Duggar and Jabril Prepper's pairing.
No Kenneth Walker today either.
So that might be able to help. I think we could probably force Gino to throw a pick or something this game. So Christian Gonzalez.
Okay. Here's another stat too,
up.
which you gotta watch out for. Yeah, he did hold Jamar Chase to not many yards, but I believe Chase caught every target that he was thrown at him with Gonzalez matched up to him. But with that, he still contained him and kept him short. So we'll see what he does today, because I assume he'll be going up against DK Metcalf. Yeah,
which I don't think is a big mismatch for him, because he got this height and speed. Obviously, DK has the strength, but I think he might have tougher challenges with like a Tyler Lockett, because the way Tyler Lockett can get is very better at route running and then work. It's always hard to defend the slot because I ain't watched enough of the defense. Sorry about that. I didn't watch enough of the defense. So I don't know if he was traveling a lot. They had him in the slide time, so I'm gonna pay attention a lot more to their defense side of the ball this game.
Yeah, I'll be watching the game today because I watched it back after the fact, not live, but I'll definitely be watching the game today to see what they do. All right. You have any input on it, Ty? Or you want me to go on to the next game?
I'm actually scared about this game because Seattle honestly won that game last week because of Kenneth Walker. So I know Kenneth Walker, that pretty much scares me. Patriots at home, right? They're at home?
Yes.
Or
yes, home opener.
So opening, I don't know. That pick scares me. However, the Pats also didn't look good last week. It just only helped that the Bengals look worse. So I'm fine with that -3 pick. Field goal. It's nothing, even if it's a close game.
All right, so the next game we got is Vegas at Baltimore. Baltimore is -8. Clip says Baltimore -8, and Peso has the Ravens straight up.
Yeah, I got Ravens straight up.
I have Baltimore -8.
Okay. I'm going Baltimore straight up. Just a little tidbit for anyone watching. If you can get this bet in before, actually, wrong game. Never mind. That's not what I'm. That's not the game that I meant to say. It's the next game. Next game's Chargers at Panthers. Chargers are -5.
I got Chargers.
Chargers.
I'm gonna take them straight up. This might be a battle of the two ugly X's.
Peso's got the Panthers +5, and Clips has the Chargers straight up.
Yep, this is my last time picking the Panthers, so I'll pick the Panthers straight up.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to take the Chargers -5, and this is the bet that I was saying if you're interested in placing it. J.K. Dobbins to lead the league in rushing this week. I think plays out 30 or 40 to 1. I think he could run all over this Carolina defense because Harbaugh does not throw the ball. He likes to run it, and Herbert didn't look that good last week. So it's a little bit of a hint there if anyone wants to tail me on that. So the next game we got is New Orleans at Dallas. Dallas is -6. Clips has New Orleans +6, and Peso has the Cowboys -6.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go Dallas straight up.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go Dallas.
I got the Cowboys -6.
All right. Who'd you have, Musa?
I got Dallas.
Dallas. All right. Okay. Next game we got is 49ers at Vikings. 49ers are -4.5 points. Cliff has the 49ers straight up, and Peso has the 49ers straight up as well.
I got Minnesota with the points.
All right.
I think it's an upset game.
I could see it, especially Flores knows how to play against them, and I know they didn't have Trent Williams for that game last year, but I think this will be a low-scoring game, and I think even if Minnesota doesn't win, I think they can cover. I'm going to go 49ers straight up.
Who's Vikings at home?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to go 49ers straight up.
All right. Okay, next game, we got Indianapolis -3 at Green Bay. Malik Willis, I believe, is starting. I don't know that for sure, but
Colts.
Love was doubtful.
Colts straight up.
Okay. Clip says the Colts straight up, and Peso has the Colts -3. I'm taking the Colts -3.
I'm taking Colts -3.
All right.
Good looks, my guy.
Next game, we got Tampa Bay at Detroit. Detroit is -7.5. Clip says Detroit -7.5, and Peso has the Lions straight up.
Where's the game at again?
It's in Detroit.
Ooh, that was a good game last year in the playoffs too. It was a dog fight. And it's going to be a matchup in the trenches because you got Tampa's great D line versus Detroit's great O line, particularly when it comes to the run game.
I got the Bucks with the spread.
Yeah, I'm gonna take.
It's gonna be honestly, I'm very surprised the spread's like this because I feel like it's gonna be a shootout.
Before we came on the show,
that's why I was tough about this one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go Tampa also.
With the points? All right. I'm taking Detroit straight up just because I think they'll win, but I don't think they'll cover. But hey, you never know, man.
What's the spread? What's the point again?
7.5.
Ooh. Damn.
So that's why I'm just taking Detroit straight up.
I'm going to take Tampa straight up.
You taking Tampa straight up?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
As long as I'm going to take them straight up. I ain't going to take them with the points.
All right. We got Cleveland at Jacksonville. Jacksonville's -3. Clips has Cleveland +3, and Peso has Cleveland +3.
I got Jacksonville.
Straight up?
-3.
-3? All right. I'm doing the same as you. I'm taking Jacksonville -3.
Just because I need to get out of last place, I want to go with the Browns.
Straight up?
Straight up.
He's just like he had a last place.
I'm stuck in last place there.
Jameis is the franchise QB. We might be seeing that soon with him being the backup.
I don't even know how I got that many points, but hey.
I mean, to be fair, the last couple quarterbacks in Cleveland have all looked better than Deshaun Watson. So.
Yeah. And my condolences to his family. I know he lost his father last week. So.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully that was why he played bad and he's not just
Don't do it.
That's not
Don't
just
do
what
it.
he is.
I'm hoping for a Deshaun Watson.
I was
Comeback
saying
game.
that to y'all in the chat, not to be on this topic too long. It's hard for me to see. It's hard for me to see when it's a quarterback, but it's hard for me to see someone that was that elite
Yep.
just drop off the way he has since he came back. Like it's glaring how bad he looks.
Yeah.
It's almost as if he's not out there playing. He's almost just in his head, and I think that's what's really holding him back. He's in his head, and I think he just needs a real good support team around him to get him back motivated and keep him just focusing on football. But it's tough, man. It's losing your parent, then you have the whole other situation I won't speak on, but
Which
it's a lot.
I don't support his actions, but that's pathetic that it's being brought up now. I feel like that was just a call made from the Haslam family that owns the Browns down to the McNair family saying, "You got anyone else come forward to get us out of this contract? Like you should have joined the group of lawsuits a while ago. This is ridiculous. Like as I said, I don't support his actions, but this is a joke." But
Prayers to him and his family. Also, prayers out to the Andrew Wiggins family. His father passed away. I think it was last night or over the weekend, Friday. So, condolences to that family. It's been a lot of stuff in the air, man.
sure. Next game we got is Giants at Commanders. Commanders are -1.5. Cliff says Commanders straight up. Peso's got Commanders straight up.
Is this game at the Giants?
Nope, it's in Washington.
Dang, I wanted to pick the Giants because of that damn secondary in Washington. I didn't believe neighbors going to have a game. But I do like the Giants' defense.
They also have Daniel Jones. So
That's exactly what I was about to say. I do like the Giants. I like the Giants' defense. I'm going to go Washington.
yeah. So if this poor secondary can ever have a good game this season, it's going to come against Daniel Jones. So I'm going Washington straight up. Washington with the spread.
All right. Ooh, this is a tough one. I'm going to go with the Giants on this one. Just because I don't trust that secondary. But I'm sure I'll be wrong on that. But next game we got is Jets at Titans. Clips has the Jets the Jets are -3.5. Clips has the Jets -3.5, and Peso has the Titans +3.5.
I got the Titans. No. Damn. I wish you could just pick on one side of the ball because I love Tennessee's defense. And I think Ladarius Sneed's going to he gonna try to give Gary Wilson all he can and make it a very long day for him. But Will Levis against that defense. Because the thing is, although the Jets got shellacked against the Niners, their defense is not that bad. It really got worse once Sauce got Sauce playing today?
Oh, wait till we get around to the Monday night game for the news I got, but we'll wait till then.
Because if Sauce is playing, then you got to take on the Jets. If he's
Yeah,
not playing,
I think he is, but I don't know.
I'm gonna go Jets straight up.
All right, I'm going Jets straight up as well. Who would you like, Ty?
Yeah, I hope the team that I picked to win their division doesn't lose to the Tennessee Titans. However, I would say if this defense really gives up, I would say more than 2 touchdowns to this Tennessee Titans offense, I feel like they should be on the phone with Hassan Reddick. Because clearly
that is the dumbest holdout in the history of the NFL.
But it is dumb. However, he did have the leverage in his mind. And honestly, I understood because you basically brought him in. Then you basically told him he's the only linebacker. So of course he's going to demand all that money. But yeah, they should, because I didn't like how that defense looks against a Christian McCaffrey less 49ers offense. So I think the Jets should bounce back, and they should beat the Titans by more than 3.5.
All right, so you're taking the Jets -3.5?
Yep.
Sounds good.
Straight up.
Son Reddick's holdout, in my opinion, dumbest holdout since Le'Veon Bell, but that's just my opinion.
And it's always with the Jets.
Yep. What a shock. That's just the Jets being the Jets. But next game we got Ty's team, the Rams, against the Cardinals. Cardinals are -1. Clip says the Rams
Where's the game?
straight up. It's in Arizona, and
Arizona.
Peso has the Rams +1.
I got Arizona straight up.
Okay.
Arizona looked good.
Yeah,
Against
their offense did, not the defense.
Yeah, defense now, but offense. And that was despite Kyler Murray clearly missing Marvin Harrison Jr.
I'm going with the Rams straight up, man. I don't even think this is going to be a close game, bro. I don't know why the spread's this low. I think the Rams are going to blow them out.
I think it's going to be it's a division game, so that's probably what it is. But I'm gonna go with the Cardinals.
I just want to let you know the Rams, if there's one team in that division they steamroll through, it is the Cardinals.
Yeah, 9-0
and-
against the last 9 games.
I remember when Kyler's first playoff game, he got.
And the worst thing for the Cardinals, Cooper Kupp is looking like Cooper Kupp. So he's just going to replicate what he did last week, this week. So the Rams, I agree with Mike. This is not going to be a close game. I think the Rams blow them out of the water.
Yep, I agree with that. Next game we got is the Bengals at the Chiefs. Clips has Chiefs +6, and Peso has the Chiefs. I'm sorry, Clips has the Bengals +6, and Pesos has the Chiefs -6.
I got Chiefs straight up.
I'm taking the Chiefs straight up as well.
It's tough because Jamar Chase finds a way to play big against these dudes. And no Ladarius Sneed, even though Trent McDuffie's pretty good though.
Yeah, this is probably the toughest game. Yeah, I'm gonna go Chiefs straight up.
Sounds good. Next game we got a phenomenal matchup here. We got the Steelers and the Broncos at the Broncos. Steelers are -2.5. Clip says the Steelers straight up, and then Peso has the Steelers straight up as well.
I'm gonna go. Dang, this is tough. I really want to go Steelers, but I don't know. I don't trust Justin Fields.
I don't either, but I trust.
But then again, I do it. I'm about to say, but I also like Denver's defense.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm like, but damn, do I want to trust Bo Nix or Justin Fields? That's what's gonna come down to, I think.
I'm taking the Steelers -2.5.
Yeah. I'll take that.
Yeah, I'm going with Steelers with the spread. Honestly,
I think it's gonna be a lot of field goals.
Honestly, Chris Boswell might be the first kicker ever to win 2 games in a row by himself.
Could see it. We got the Sunday night game tonight next. We got the Bears at the Texans. Texans are -6.5. Clip says the Texans straight up. Peso also has the Texans straight up.
You said 6.5?
Yeah, I'm going with the Texans straight up as well.
Me too. Caleb Williams is going to throw a pick this game.
I'm actually going to go with the Bears, 6.5.
Sounds good. Okay, we got the Monday night game. No A.J. Brown this week for the Eagles. It's Atlanta at Philly. Philly -6, and Clips has Philly -6, and Peso has the Falcons +6.
I knew it.
So even though he was talking all that, he still picked him.
No, AJ, no problem. I got the Eagles. Devonta Smith is going to show why he can be a number 1 receiver.
All right. I'm taking the Eagles straight up.
Yeah, I got Eagles straight up.
Okay, now last game we're picking, and I did not get Clips' pick on this, but I'll text him about it. We got the Patriots at the Jets on Thursday Night Football. The look-ahead line is the Jets -7. Peso has the Jets -7.
I got Jets straight up.
Damn, I thought you'd go with the Patriots.
But imagine Pats win today, and they go 3-0 and beat the Jets on Thursday.
Well, I could see. This is one thing I could see. I could see the Patriots going 2-0 and then losing the next 8 games, but I'm just being honest. I could see that happening, but I think Seattle's an underrated team. I'm going with the Jets straight up as well. I'm not messing with the spread.
Yeah, Jets straight up.
All right. We're going to do a Survivor too eventually. We're not going to do it today because I forgot to text Clips and Peso, so we're going to start up a Survivor pool next week too. I know it's a little late, but that'll give us a better chance to grasp the teams, and I know we're up against it for the time today, and we'll just do that next week. There's no need to do it this week.
Sure, for sure. But so next week, everyone stay tuned. We're going to do this new challenge called Survivor, where Mike's going to explain the rules and how it works, and we're gonna see how it goes. I'm excited for it. Can't wait for it. Stay tuned, man. Great A Show. We're doing some great things. We got football going on right now. Basketball is coming back up soon. Stay tuned for that. We're gonna be cooking some other stuff in the future. So leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching another episode here with the Pick Six crew. Have a wonderful day. Peace.
Grade A.